Welcome to Wake Up Pancreas. I'm Danny.
And I'm Alex.
Welcome to episode 14 of Wake Up Pancreas. So it's been a few weeks since our last, podcast.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy, haven't we?
Super busy.
Yes, we have.
So yeah, I honestly can't tell you what our last one was about. That's how busy I think we've been.
Well, we were talking about how your mom was going to come to visit us. I think that's one of the discussions, right? And she did come out and visit us for quite a bit.
Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm. She just left a few days ago. So just to recap, I've actually been on leave for the past couple of weeks, and I planned out our vacation, aka summer break for the kids. So what we did when my mom came in is that we traveled, pretty much did our spring break trip that we talked about several episodes ago in reverse.
Yes.
And so we actually went through Portland for the first time, on the highway.
We would.
And I know Portland, they say some bad stuff about, but from the highway, it's way prettier than Olympia.
From looking from the outside, of course, it's prettier.
It's so much prettier. I mean, yes, I saw some tents, I saw some encampments, and I know it's worse up on top, because the way their highways, you're kind of carved into the ground a bit, and the city's up top, so you can only see the high buildings and whatnot. But one of the things I really liked about going through Oregon was the farms. So I can't stand Washington, and I know people love it here, but I love trees. However, when you're taking a 3-hour trip and you are just lined with nonstop trees that you can't even see through, and occasionally you just might have quick break, there's a river close, and then you keep going, my brain's yeah, this is horrible. And it's gray, dreary, raining. You're is it raining again? Barely see the sun. Mm-hmm. 1-lane highways. But then Oregon, it's you get outside Portland, and we were only maybe 15, 20 minutes outside. And it's built up little bit like suburbs, but a lot of farms, and it seemed like a little bit of wine country, and it was just way more this is me, this is what I enjoy, being away from people, and still have trees, beautiful sky, but you can actually see the sky. It's not covered by 500-foot trees.
Or better yet, the clouds, right? Well, we saw more sun this time around, right? It's summertime, so we saw some sun.
We did, which probably helped with the mood a bit.
Yeah.
But so we did our trip in reverse. Last time we had kind of gone through Astoria. We went up the coast and slowly made our way to Rockaway Beach, I think it's called, which is where we spent the night. And then from there, the next day we went over the Tillamook, the cheese factory, but it had been downpouring the whole time. So this time it was actually nice. And we should also give a shout out to little Alex. It was his birthday. Woo woo. Big 8 years old. So he wanted to go to the cheese factory. He's so excited about it again. So we cut through Oregon, after going through the city, and went straight to the Tillamook factory. And let me tell you, I had planned, because I looked at the weather station, and it was going to be in the 80s, high 80s. Oh, it was going to be an awesome trip.
Okay.
Womp, womp, womp.
Well, it started raining a little bit. It wasn't that bad. It was sunny, rainy.
Oh, it was sunny, but it definitely wasn't beach weather.
No.
And I had planned, we are going to the beach.
We did end up going to the beach, and it wasn't bad. I always dread the beach because it feels like a work. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Pulling everybody aside, trying to get everything together. It's this is work.
Let's be honest. Every time we go to the beach, we get out of the car and Alex is miserable. He's very short in his temper. And then he's oh, wait, let me cheer up. I'm at the beach. Give him a few minutes. But it's always because he's lugging something around. And the kids are sand, sand. They kick sand, but with the blanket he just laid out. But you cheered up very quick this time, so.
I think it's the kites this time around. We flew kites, so that's different. We had a short kite, and then the water was extremely cold.
So cold. I think my bones started to cramp. I was it's painful. I can't feel my legs. It's going to fall off. No, it was great though. Little Alex have wanted to fly kites for a while now, and we bought them, but we just haven't had the opportunity.
No.
It's either rainy when it's windy or it's not windy.
Yeah, we don't want them to get hit by lightning.
No, of course not. And then that sounded really sarcastic. No, I really don't want my son to be hit by lightning. But On the beach this time, it was super cold, super windy, but it was great for kites. And that's what, when you ask them how the trip went, they'll tell you the kites were the best part.
Yeah, that's
But
not
let's be
bad.
honest, my kite was the best out of all of them.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was fun. It wasn't bad. Talking about something we haven't talked about is the jujitsu tournament. Remember that?
Oh.
And how Alex did and his motivation.
Oh yeah, we had
to it.
that too. We had so
we
much.
had
We
a
had
lot.
Marcel's dance recital. We had her rehearsal
yeah.
because I was a dance mom. Thank you, Alex,
You're
for
welcome.
signing me
We got
up.
free tickets.
I did get, and I got great seats, front
Yeah,
row.
exactly.
It was great. A little stressful, but it was great. I saw another mom was like with a clipboard. I was like, "Oh wait, are you with us?" She's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Yes, another adult is here," because there was like 20 like 4-year-olds, and you got some of them with horrible attitudes, others that are super nice, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to sit. Do I sit on this end? This end? Do I sit in the middle?" I'm like, "They won't sit down. What do I do?" So I was like, "Yes, another mom that can deal with the clipboard, and I can talk to the kids. We can do this." But she did great at her dance recital, and then Alex had his jujitsu,
Yes,
which
he did.
you want to talk about.
Jiu-Jitsu was awesome. I had a great time. Well, then again, I think we were more nervous than he was at one point, right?
Oh yeah, I actually found myself standing in the crowd because so they had 12 mats laid out. It was huge.
It was huge.
And all the parents were pushed up against like these metal barricades.
Well, yeah, it's like a little fence they put around so you could see the fighters when they go and basically is their match.
The fighters.
Yeah, when they step up to the ring, right?
Let me set the stage for you. It started with the fighters, also known as 3-year-olds,
Yeah.
and it was the cutest thing. I think everyone was just like, "Oh my gosh, look at them come out!" Like, 'cause they were just these big head little like waddling little kids, and they were so cute. But let me tell you, some of them, they just went for the neck and they're choke, choke, choke. I'm going to choke you out, especially in no-gi. It was really, but when he started, I was jumping up and down like in my spot. Like I was getting ready to fight. Like, "Oh, I got this. I got this." And I'm like, "Wait, what am I doing?" I was like, calm down, calm down. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's my baby." And he got tapped out fast.
Yeah, but he had to see the part that you don't understand. He might have got topped that fast, but he got back up, shook hands. He didn't cry about it, and he kept going.
He did great. Like, so the first couple, like you could see like the kid hit him fast and he's like, "Oh my goodness." Like his eyes like blew up. Like he wasn't expecting that. He didn't know
No.
what to expect. So as the day went on, he got 4 fights altogether. He had 2 in the gi, 2 with no gi, and the no gi was awesome.
Well, yeah, I think he felt more comfortable at the end. It's like, okay, I understand what's going on now. This is normal. Let's do this.
But the huge win, I would say, for him is no crying.
Yeah.
Because he does not like to lose. And he's an emotional little dude, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I was shocked at how many tears there were at this competition. And not from kids getting hurt. Just more of a
frustration.
I lost. Like, and just watching them just like fall to the ground, just like drained at the fact that they lost was like, I was like, oh, like I kind of felt for them.
At the same time, that's part of the sport. That's something they have to learn. They have to learn how to lose. It's not they're frustrated because they put their all into it, but really the other guy probably put a little bit more, and that's what they won.
I remember before the tournament, one of the parents at the practice said, "Is this your first tournament?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Yeah, we're not going to this one, but the last one was our first, and it wasn't what we were expected. Like, he got tapped out really fast. They put him in a choke, and he started crying, and then Coach Will, who is a 3rd degree or 5th degree black belt, told him, he's like, "Don't worry, I cried my first time too." And I think the kids hearing that, like, it's okay, like it's just so much frustration, and just you worked really hard that you'll get better, kind of.
Yeah,
hearing
get
it from
better.
him is cool. But the coaches, like, they just rotate. They're like, "Oh, there's one on our mat," and they like run to the next one. They're constantly moving, and like they're cheering the kids on too. They're videotaping it. They're taking pictures. Like photographers, they did awesome.
They did awesome.
Such a great organization.
I definitely recommend it. It's dynamic jiu-jitsu.
In Olympia, Washington. Small gym, but they are so family oriented. They're great.
Extremely family.
High quality clothes. Let me just call that out. I think it's called Choke Aloha. Their team gear, and it's so high quality compared to the stuff we had when we did Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or just stuff we ordered online, that I looked in the collar. I was like, "What is this?" I was like, I need to go find this.
Yeah.
So I Googled it. I was like, let me try and get more. And it's like a super small company that started in Hawaii, and then they moved to up here, the Pacific Northwest, and then down to Texas. And they only make like small batch stuff. But they're really big in supporting canines, like police canines. So they say, I think it's every year they do this. They do a shirt, which is like a rash guard gi, like no gi shirt, which is really thick, high quality, with a different canine that was killed in the line of duty being honored. So this year it's one from Seattle. So I thought it was really cool that they're super patriotic. They support the blue. They support troops. Like definitely a company. I just wish they made more, because I went on. I'm like, that's not something I could buy for him. That's an adult size. So they must have it in with this company to get them to print on their gear.
Yeah, might as well just buy it for ourselves.
I thought about it. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, what do you think about, so up next we got swimming, right? Straight off the bat, we got swimming, we got baseball. He started baseball recently.
Marcel did too.
Yeah, Marcel did too as well. Swimming is going to be interesting.
Swimming starts tomorrow. So we haven't been in swimming for almost a month now. So there's no update on that. But Alex is going to be going for the first time tomorrow.
That's true.
And he hasn't gone since our experience at the Y, which wasn't the best.
No.
But when he had a really good coach that kind of broke away from the curriculum and just worked with him, even the coach said that he loved watching him swim because he's just so graceful and like calm in the water. So I want to see if that comes back.
Right. What do you think also, going back to Marcel's diabetes? So recently I've seen that, sure, she spikes up, right? But I think we're having more issues with the lows now. Right?
I think you're right. We are having a lot of lows, and I can't put my finger on why. I know a lot of it is she's just refusing to eat right now.
And I think that's the issue, that we treat her for the full amount of food, right? But then she'll just eat half, and then she gets that extra bolus, that extra insulin, basically.
And we did that in the very beginning. We were like, okay, we give it to her after she eats. We know how much. Then it went to, okay, now that she's eating, we'll give it to her. But she got much better at saying, this is what I'm going to eat. So we treat her in the beginning. But now she's kind of going back to, nah, I don't want to eat that anymore.
Yeah.
And then her Dexcom, this is now number 3. So the last 2 didn't make it to 10 days. They only made it to like 8 days. They started acting up, which I'm like, I'm not going to call it in, because Dexcom changed their policy.
Did they?
They used to, if you call, they'll send you one because it didn't live up to it. But I guess too many people were using the system saying it's not working, that they'll only send you, I think it's one every month or every 3 months. Something like that. I saw it on one of the local forums. So that's why I've kind of held off on those. Like, wait till we actually
We got to
need
check
it.
on that. Maybe we'll call them and ask them.
But her Dexcom has not been accurate, which is telling us that she's super low. Then we check, I'm like, she's 100 points higher than this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that either.
That's not bad. But then again, she stayed in the 150s. We're seeing a lot of 150s. So
We
far.
are. And I mean, if it's lows, then they just we need to adjust when we're giving her insulin. And if that's not going to work, we have until August, and then we meet with the doc again. Then they have to adjust the dose.
Yeah.
But hopefully, because who knows, the pump is so smart that it may have adjusted her basal, which is a constant rate of insulin that it gives her every hour. It may have adjusted it, so now she's getting a higher dose. But if she's getting higher there, when we give her food insulin, now there's too much on board.
Exactly.
So they may have to come down on the food insulin since it's already on board, just through the every hour
Now it brings
dose.
us back to, maybe we're going to lower it to that sugar mark of, I said sugar mark, but of that 6 point something, right? Because right now she's at 7, right?
So when I look at the Clarity app, which gives us an average of what her Dexcom has been at. Now, remember, her Dexcom has not been that accurate. It's telling me her average glucose is about 150, which before was 170. So 20-point difference, big deal for her. So it looks like she's probably going to be about the 7 to 7.1 range, which is still good because we've been fighting to get below 7.5, and we've been stuck at 7.5 since pretty much her diagnosis. So the lower we get, the better. And I think now it's just fine-tuning these settings, fine-tuning what she's going to eat. And she hasn't been doing swimming either. She's had a break. So now that she's going to be in the sun with baseball, then swimming twice a week, both of those twice a week, and then she has soccer camp in August, who knows what's going to happen.
I totally forgot about soccer camp. Well, we'll see about that. And then Yeah, and then her birthday's coming up too in September, in November.
November. So like 6
Yes.
months out. She wants to make it seem like it's today. This morning
Yeah.
I went in her room. She's like, Mom, will you sing me happy birthday? It's my birthday. I was like, it's not your birthday. No, I will not sing you happy birthday. But
man.
I'd like to see what happens with her sugar. I'm glad we started the Omnipod 5
Yes.
so that we could start getting it under control, start getting her numbers. But the closer school gets, the more stressed I'm starting to get.
You know what? On a whole different note about taking care of sugars and stuff like that, let's give a shout out to your mom. She did an
Woo-woo!
amazing job taking
Nanny
care of
Richie.
Marcel, right? Even though I believe she thinks that, for some reason, I think that she didn't do a good job or something like that, or she has this belief, right? That
I
she
think that she put too much pressure on
On
herself,
herself,
that she
yes.
didn't know how to do everything. I'm like, we don't know what we're doing
No,
every
we
day. And
don't.
I literally got my doctorate degree in nursing. Like,
No,
and I've
it's a-
worked with specialists, and I still don't know what I'm
And it's
doing every
just,
day.
and plus, she's only done it once. You babysit her for a couple hours, right? Come on, give yourself a break. You did amazing. The child is still alive.
You
right?
hear that, Mom? She's still alive.
She's
She's
still
surviving.
kicking.
She's thriving. She's doing great.
She's doing great.
Yeah. So we're going to end on that happy note.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mom Richie, for taking care
Oh,
of,
come visit us too.
for coming to visit us and celebrating Alex's birthday, and also giving us a date night and watching Marcel, because
Yes,
we haven't been
thank
on
you.
date night in probably about 1.5 years because we just don't have someone to watch our children. But hopefully that'll change. All right, so that's it for Wake Up Pancreas. See you next time.